Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about injuries, but the kind that you can't see. I first encountered this idea of having an invisible injury or an invisible disability after I was diagnosed with MS, of course. Before all of that, I was definitely a very driven, I'm a very to-do list kind of a person, like get stuff done, push yourself as hard as you can and try to get stuff, going, like go out and take life by the horns and just, wrangle everything. So it was very difficult for me to go from push, like constantly be going to suddenly screeching halt. I can't do anything. Like I feel pretty almost worthless, to be honest. It was very difficult for me to understand how to navigate that. And so as I was getting better, like after my first MS attack, it took a couple of months before I really felt like I could sort of interact with people again and do things semi-normally, like sweeping my porch even. Like that was even a difficult task for me. And so as I was getting out of that, I realized that first of all, I was projecting a lot of these values, these internal values or standards that I hold myself up to. I was projecting that on other people and expecting everybody else to always be at my pace, to always be, pushing themselves. And I'll be honest, I was super judgmental, and like I would assume that people were being lazy or whatever, just because they weren't doing the same things that I was. And that was definitely an incorrect way of looking at the world, and especially at people. And so that's one of the things that I learned as I had to suddenly adjust kind of my mental framework of how I was going to handle my own life now. So I noticed, for the example of sweeping my porch, that's something that should have been really easy for me to do. That's what I would tell myself. This should be easy. This shouldn't be so hard. And that kind of, it really surprised me when I was trying to sweep after my first attack. It was so draining, and it took so much out of me that it surprised me. And I remember thinking, you know what? I need to take people at their word when they say that they can't do something, because you just never know what people are dealing with. There's all these invisible injuries and disabilities out there. They can be long-term, they can be short-term, it could be just for that day or maybe that hour, but there's a lot of things that go on with people that you just don't know about. It could be mental illness, it could be anxiety, it could even be MS, or there's so many other things that just looking at people, you can't tell that's what they're dealing with. But they will tell you, either like literally they can tell you, I'm sorry, I can't do this, or in other ways you can maybe be keen on seeing some of their body language and how they react to certain tasks and things that you're trying to get them to do, and that's something that I want to be more aware of as I'm just interacting with people. I don't want to be that person anymore who's, judging people or trying to like constantly push people in ways that they really can't at that point in their lives or with their current abilities. And I think that's a good thing to be aware of. It's just the fact that there are so many invisible disabilities, invisible injuries, and to take people at their word. I'd rather take them at their word, and even if I'm wrong and maybe they were just being lazy and didn't want to do something, but that's okay. I'd rather have that. I'd rather give them the opportunity to choose if they're gonna accept my request or not, because I would rather protect that person who does have an invisible injury or disability, and help them feel safe in whether that's at work or other places, doing service, things like that. And so that's just kind of what I've been thinking about and mulling over. So this isn't quite the end of the conversation. I actually really hope that this is the beginning. And so the challenge for you on this video today is to comment below your thoughts about this idea. Have you struggled with an invisible disability or injury, and how have you kind of managed the questions of, when do I share about this? When do I keep it to myself? That kind of a thing. Have you had any good experiences or any bad experiences with interacting with people that don't realize that you've got some kind of limitation? And also, if you don't feel like you had that experience, have you ever seen somebody that is either going through their own struggles with some kind of invisible disability? How have you supported them, or how have you noticed that you could have supported them? Let me know those things in the comments below. So stay tuned. I really feel like this is a great conversation to have. I feel like it's something that we need to be talking about more as we're encountering different people throughout our lives. We gain more experience, we understand people more, and we're able to elevate people to be their best selves, especially when we give them that space that they're looking for to either be open or be able to say no to some things that they just can't do, that kind of a thing. So I think this is a pretty critical conversation to have. So I'm really interested to see your thoughts. And yeah, so stay safe out there. Love you guys, and we will see you around on the next video.